Welcome into NFL Live, where it has been the week of the tight ends with Tight End University in full swing down in Nashville. We'll catch up with a few of the league's best tight ends, as well as learn the origin of National Tight Ends Day. Plus, the Eagles' defense has undergone several changes this offseason, but one constant remains. It's defensive coordinator Vic Fangio. Find out why one of the Eagles' star defenders thinks Philly's primed to take a big leap in 2026. And are the Bengals trending toward a breakout season with Joe Burrow finally having a fully healthy offseason? Adam Schefter is going to fill us in on the latest out of Cincinnati. We are glad you're joining us on NFL Live today. I'm Dan Graziano, joined by Kevin Clark, Jeremy Fowler, and Mina Kimes. And as I just mentioned, the tight ends have been front and center this week, so let's dive right in. The only tight end to score a touchdown in this past season's Super Bowl, Seattle's A.J. Barner. He was at Tight End University because everyone was. He caught up with our Lindsey Theory to talk about the Seahawks offseason and plans to repeat as Super Bowl champs.
You lose key pieces. That's part of it. It's part of what happens when you win. But I think, the guys that we have coming in, and Coach Fleury included, we're really excited about it. And like I touched on, our guys, we want to come in and we want to work. It's not a problem for us to be back on April 20th for OTAs after a short break. When we're in the building, we're about our business. And we're excited to help Coach Fleury, do a great job.
This last season, you guys were kind of the less talked about team until obviously you won the title. Now that you go in as the defending Super Bowl champions, has Mike McDonald's message to you guys how to handle yourselves changed at all?
Nah, it's a new year, and I think we kind of have the same chip on our shoulder. I think, it is what it is. People can write us off and say what they want to say, but I think when it comes down to being a great team, we have a great team. And everyone on our team is about one mission, and that's winning games. So we're excited to get back out there, and we know that, we got a target on our back, but, we're here for it.
How do you have a chip on your shoulder when you have a Super Bowl ring?
I mean, I'm going into year 3, so I got a lot left to do personally, and I think my teammates would say the same thing. And like I said, we love being Seahawks. We love playing for Coach Mike, and we love playing for the 12. So there's no better city to do it for, and we want more.
As often happens with Super Bowl champions, the Seahawks lost some key pieces on both sides of the ball. You see here their offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak is now the head coach of the Raiders. Star running back Kenneth Walker, who was Super Bowl MVP, now plays for the Chiefs. You see their assistant GM is now the GM of the Minnesota Vikings, Nolan Teasley. So they have a lot to address this they had a lot to address this off season, but they figured out who they needed to keep and who they wanted to build around, and Sam Darnold is going to be the quarterback there again, Mina. He had success in his first year, obviously, in Seattle. It went well for him, went well for them, but with all these changes and a new coordinator, what's the most important thing he needs to do to continue his progression there?
Yeah, I think for Brian Fleury, the new offensive coordinator, the job is something that Clint Kubiak did his best at, but at times it was a little bit up and down in terms of Seattle's offense, and that's keeping Sam Darnold out of 3rd and long. Obviously, that's true of any quarterback. It's harder on 3rd and long, but especially true for Darnold, who on 1st down was a top 10 quarterback in QBR, 8th league-wide. But then on 3rd down, not just 3rd long, he dropped to 26, which was the biggest delta of any quarterback outside of Cam Ward league-wide. And there's plenty of reasons for that. The Seahawks offense, pretty play-action-centric, which is obviously easier on early downs. Darnold himself has always been somewhat inconsistent against pressure, which is likely to increase again as the downs go on. But I think for Coach Fleury, finding a balance between efficiency and explosiveness on 1st and 2nd down is so important to getting the most out of Sam Darnold. And that starts with the run game as well, which is going to look pretty different with Jerry and Price.
Normally, I would laugh at a nobody believes in us, I have a chip on my shoulder gimmick from a Super Bowl champion. In this case, it is incredibly valid. The Seahawks are on the short list for most disrespected Super Bowl champions of my lifetime. I think the Eli Giants are on that list twice. I think that the Von Miller, Peyton Manning Broncos are on that list. But it feels like the day after the Super Bowl, we started a new conversation about everybody but the Seahawks. And we've glossed over the fact that in the Super Bowl, they had a 50% pressure rate on Drake May, that they hit the ball carrier in the backfield over half the time. One of the best postseason performances in both regards in the history of the NFL. Last year, regular season, second best pass defense per play in the NFL the entire season, best run defense, best at limiting explosive plays on the ground. They're an unbelievable team. They didn't lose that much. And the fact that we just moved on from them and started talking about the Rams and all these teams we're going to talk about later is disrespectful to everybody. Having said that, I'm picking the Rams to win the NFC.
It's going to be hard to move on from Seattle because they're going to be just fine offensively. I did make some calls before I came to the show, a little bit of intel on Seattle. More motions and shifts in the offense. They will have that with Brian Fleury. I'm told that Sam Darnold's really comfortable with that. Rashid Shaheed, we know he's fast. Yeah. He had a major spring, I was told. He and Sam Darnold hitting it off. They're going to give him more. Some of those routes you saw that Jackson Smith and Jigba was running so well last year, he'll still do this, but they're going to give more short to intermediate stuff too to Rashid Shaheed. He's going to be a big-time player for them. They feel comfortable. Those tight ends are going to be moving all around with the motion that they're going to be doing.
That's the thing. We talk about who they lost, but they made a point to keep certain guys, Rashid Shaheed among them. Seahawks veterans report to training camp exactly 4 weeks from today on July 24th. That just feels sooner than I expected it to. Let's get to some top stories around the NFL as we get closer to training camps. Jeremy, what do you got in that notebook?
Let's start with Brandon Ayuk, who will probably post an IG story at some point in the next 20 or 30 seconds as I'm posting this here, but he has not applied for reinstatement because he's on the left squad list for the 49ers. He has to send a formal letter to Commissioner Goodell. Hasn't happened as far as I know. Hasn't got any clarity as to when he's going to be cut or traded, released, whatever, but teams consider him untradeable at this point. So he wants to go to Washington. That's clear. I'm told the Commanders are going to wait to sign any receiver. Bijan Robinson, he's going to be the next name most likely to crack the bank at running back. The Atlanta Falcons are paying players right now. Drake London paid. Kyle Pitts paid. Robinson, they hope to pay. They're motivated. No deal imminent yet, but they have been talking. Watch for Jahmyr Gibbs in Detroit, too. There's going to be some major money spent for guys who could be making over $20 million per year in that market when it's all said and done. And then finally, you have quarterbacks getting healthy. You see Bo Nix there. Several guys were beat up this spring, coming back from injuries. Dale Jones, you see him on the Achilles tear. I'm told he expects to be doing 11-man work when they get back to camp. Bo Nix, Denver expects him to be full go when they get back to camp in late July. You see Patrick Mahomes, that's a little more fluid just because of the severity of that injury, but they are leaning into him potentially playing week 1. He's progressed really well, so I wouldn't put anything past him as far as what he can handle when they report to camp.
Mahomes would like to get the Chiefs back to the Super Bowl. Of course, the last time they played in the Super Bowl, they lost to the Eagles, and who had a monster defense at that point. They've changed a lot on the defensive side of the ball, have the Eagles, since that time. And since last season ended, in fact, Jalen Phillips and Nakobe Dean are gone. They traded for pass rusher Jonathan Grenard. So a little turnover there on that side of the ball. But all-pro linebacker Zach Vaughn is still there, and he recently spoke about his expectations for Vic Fangio's new-look defense as they head into 2026.
I feel like he's taking things to the next level this year in terms of he knows we're comfortable and we know our scheme and what he knows us and he knows what we're capable of. Even within his own scheme, he continues to develop and tweak and change, and that's what Vic is. He's a hard-nosed, old-school football coach that if you're willing to learn and listen to what he has to say, it could be really good for you, and I think it's been really good for this defense.
Kevin, we've talked so much this offseason about the Eagles' offense.
Yep.
A.J. Brown getting traded, is Jalen Hurts on the hot seat, et cetera, et cetera. Not much focus on the defense. Do you agree with what Zach Vaughn had to say about it?
Absolutely. They're one of the highest floor units in the entire league. Vaughn himself, one of the most productive off-ball linebackers there is in this league. Quinyon Mitchell, one of the best cornerbacks, period. Last year, best separation from receivers.
Trailblazer, like a crazy guy playing football. When people saw Gronk and the success that he had, teams were like, I got to find the next Gronk.
You want one guy on this football team to get the ball. You want George Kittle.
That was sick. Know your role and shut your mouth.
All right, build me the perfect tight end. And you have to be included in this.
Okay,
so
cool.
We're talking like route running, best hands, like the whole thing.
Let's see. I go route running. I'm going to take Trav just because if you take his route running, then maybe you get the Chiefs offense where he can do anything that he wants to do, which is really fun to watch. Blocking, I'm going to take my guy Josh Oliver with the Vikings because he's a sturdy human being. I'm going to take myself for speed because I'm still very fast. Hands, I'm going to go Trey McBride. Very good. A ton of catches last year. Aura, I'm going to take TJ Hawkinson because he looks like a Viking.
Oh, aura. Aura is very important. There's something about like tight ends and personality.
Man, I done tripped over somebody's foot.
No, you didn't. That was all me. I just think it's hilarious because like 90% of the NFL tight ends have the same sense of humor, and it's really funny.
Tight end day, that was coined by Jimmy Garoppolo, right?
It was.
That wasn't your idea, although you embraced it and made it into a national holiday.
The following year, NFL was like, hey, we're going to do something with this. I was like, yeah, sure. Well, we can have some fun with it. And now it should be on your calendar.
It's crazy. All these people came out for National Tight Ends Day. How beautiful. Happy Tight Ends Day to all you fellow tight ends. It's your birthday, right? National Tight Ends Day. Same thing, though.
The tight ends are actually producing more than ever before, and league-wide, the position combined for the most receptions last year in any season of all time by tight ends. Also, there were more than 1,800 plays run with at least 3 tight ends on the field last season. That's the most in any season since we've been tracking that since 2007. So here's more from Kittle on where he hopes the tight end position can go from here.
I want to help guys because I want the tight end position to continue to grow. And I think in the last several years, you've seen more tight ends go to the 12 personnel with 2 tight ends and the 13 personnel like the Rams do with 3 tight ends and have a ton of success with it because every time you have a really good tight end on your roster, you have a great team. And when you have multiple good tight